Happy Bionicle Day everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Bionicle Directs. We've got lots of great projects to show to you today, so let's not waste any time. First things first, the latest from a project we're all familiar with. While the freshly rebranded Unmasked Games has turned most of their attention to Project Rustbound, project admin Joe has cooked up one final update for Bionicle Masks of Power Legacy. You can download the updated Masks of Power Legacy build from Joe's itch.io page by scanning the QR code on your screen. Masks of Power isn't the only Bionicle game getting a facelift today. Thanks to the most ambitious Bionicle Heroes modders out there, you can now take on Voya Nui as the heroes of Bionicle 2005 and 2015.
Some tales are best left untold. Voya Nui, an island ruled by tyrants and their evil lieutenants, needs new heroes. Its inhabitants are in need of a great rescue. The Hordika, once again transformed by Viscerac venom, are all that is left to turn the tide. But old foes stand alongside their new enemies, and before the day is won, they must endure a tide of poison, a horde of venom, and cut through the web of shadows. Six heroes, old made new again, find their duty is to resolve the quarrels of another realm. Okoto's heroes are on the case. They're not in this fight alone. The Matoran of Voyanui are ready to help their new allies. This may not be their world, but the Masters of Okoto are ready to face the challenge. Are you?
Both of these mods are now available on Kralek's ModDB page, and you can find the original game on the Biomedia project. Don't miss out! The faces of 2005 and 2015 aren't the only ones we're revisiting this year. Let's see what Biryu and Zeontero have in store for us with their latest injection molding project. These 11 classic masks will be available soon, and you can browse Biryu and Zeontero's current stock at biryusforge.etsy.com and zeonteroscustomwares.com. Fan comics have been a part of our community's DNA since day one, and today, a brand new comic book series focused on Toa Likan is ready to launch. Let's take a look inside FORGEHAMMER number 1.
Yo, this is Brando, author, creator, and writer and artist of FORGEHAMMER, based on the Biological Chronicle toy sets from that building block company. FORGEHAMMER is an annual anthology series revolving around fan-made and original stories solely done by me. All art is hand-drawn and inked by me, no AI, and no outside assistance. This first installment is based on Toa Likan's battle with vengeance during the Toa Dark Hunter War for Metro Nui. I've been drawing Bionicle art since I was a kid, and I figured it's time to publish my own stories. Thanks for checking this out, and hit me up for physical copies on Twitter at BrandoNewSerial and Instagram at Wandering_Brando, and enjoy the read. This is an unauthorized release.
You can find FORGEHAMMER on Brando's art site, brandoillustration.com. It'll be well worth your time. Iconic stills and Pokora Morgan have been staples of the Bionicle Direct for years, and this time around, they're collaborating with Glaucon Zero and 14 other artists on the most ambitious Bionicle zine yet. Let's see what all the fuss is about.
You are extreme, all engulfing madness. You provided an irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars are making to afraid of you. Maybe enough time you will wake us all up and replace us with them. Just
You can download Web, a Hordika Fanzine, for free on Morgan's Gumroad page, and pre-orders for a physical print run are open until September 10th. Just scan the QR code on your screen now. Many a Bionicle fan have dared to ask the question, what if someone made audiobooks for all 1 million words of the Bionicle story? Now, thanks to Infinite Inspiration, lead of the classic Bionicle audio narration project, that dream is almost a reality. Let's learn a little more.
Oh, Nua! Get away from here!
Please.
Flee! Before I am forced
To harm you.
Think I have a better idea.
He leaped forward, smashing the ground with his fists. A great wave of earth rose up like a tidal wave, sweeping toward Kranalua. Really? Vakama said, shattering another mask to splinters. Imagine your body trapped between seconds, or half of you aging while the other half regresses. Does it still sound appealing to you? All your plans and schemes would come to an end, because no matter what you attempted, I could walk into the past and undo it. Kill me today, and I will be waiting for you in some tomorrow to avenge my death.
Approaching the fortress of the Dark Hunters on Odina is much like sticking one's face into a nest of firefliers. Hungry firefliers. Angry, hungry firefliers. Although my fellow Toanuva and I had chosen the least guarded approach to the fortress, we still had to deal with our share of sentries and wandering Dark Hunters. The trick was to knock them out before they could raise an alarm, something that is much easier to do when you have Liwa along.
No, he said to Matoro. You have to go. You have to try. The rest of us will stay here and buy you time. Go! Toa of Ice looked at Toa of Fire. Traditionally, the avatars of these two elements had clashed, and it had been no different for these two, but Matoro knew what Jalo was saying. He and the other Mari were prepared to die to give Matanui, and Matoro, a chance to live.
Voltras thought he was going to be sick. What had they done to the Makuta here? Where was the delicious evil, the complex plans, the ruthless ambition? Or, if the Makuta's actions had been fueled by a hatred or jealousy of Matanui, and there was no Matanui here, had things turned out differently?
The Shadow Hand took Matoro in its grasp and drew him, unprotesting, into the substance of Makuta. Takanuva got to his feet, blasting light from his power lance and shadow from his other hand, screaming, "Murder!" Hey everyone, this is Infinite Inspiration. What you just heard is a series of clips from various pieces of Bionicle media. the novels, short stories, and story serials. Back in 2014, I started up a project that aimed to narrate the Bionicle novels and include voice actors for each of the characters, sound effects, and music to go along with it to give you a fully immersive experience in the world of Bionicle. It was on my channel that the Bionicle audio narration project began. We were able to complete the first 4 books of the Chronicles series, and it included sound effects and music for all of them, with the first 2 books having individual actors for each character. The project fizzled out for a time due to me going to university, but then several other members of the Bionicle community came in and started filling in various gaps. On Herr Sturm Studios' channel, you can find pretty much all of the Bionicle story serials, and on Toa Tapio Nuva's channel, over the course of the last nearly decade, he has been working on completing the remainder of the Bionicle novels alongside several members of the Bionicle community to narrate it, including myself. As I saw the project continue, now with the final book Journey's End in the works and expected to be completed by the end of this year, I decided to fill in some of the last remaining gaps by releasing the Bionicle short stories on my channel, along with a couple of the story serials that are still missing. So it is with great pleasure that I can share by the end of this year, with the release of Journey's End and Reign of Shadows, that you will be able to listen to the entire Bionicle story from start to finish in its entirety. You can check out my channel now for a playlist that includes a video briefly talking about the Bionicle storyline and each piece of media included in it, and be able to listen to the vast majority of the story from start to finish, with the exception of the couple of stories that I mentioned that will be released by the end of this year. Please look forward to it. Thanks!
You can find Infinite Inspiration's Bionicle audio story playlist on his YouTube channel. Scan the QR code on your screen to dive back into the original Bionicle legend, and just wait until we're done here. Another popular question in our community is, what if Bionicle, but with minifigures? Brickonicle is here to answer that question, and for this year's Bionicle Day, they're taking on the Visorak Horde. Let's check it out.
Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Minionicle. I am Chris P.
Hello there, I'm Toa Fella.
Hello, I'm Topaz, aka Toa Muscant.
Hello, I'm Roran.
And we are the Minionicle team. Today we're going to take a look on our Hordika figures. 2005 introduced the line of Bionicle system set, and with them we got the first Bionicle minifigures. These were a game changer. Now we could finally combine our favorite Bionicle characters with our Lego bricks. Oh, hey there Wakama, what's up?
I can't move.
Yeah, we probably should do something about that. Oh, hey there Matao.
Look at me. I can turn my head 360 degrees.
Huh, what happened to you?
Huh? Oh, we were caught trapped by spiders and got infected. Tried quick running away, but got caught and poisoned. Again. Not being able to move and such. But hey, now I can move. Even more than before. Just look at my arm.
Oh, so that's how you and your friends were turned into hideous beasts?
Was turned into what?
Well, let's take a look at the new Minionicle figures. As you can see, we created a new torso to represent the Hordika torso. This has connections for arms and legs. The head is connected with a toe ball, aka Mixel ball, making it able to move 360 degrees. The back works as a stud shooter, so that the Ritoka spinner is represented by a stud. We also created a custom Hordika arm with a bar connection, so that you could attach the forearm as a clip piece to add the hand into. We also made custom weapons for each of the Hordika, Wakamas being able to attach a flame piece into. And that's it. That's better, Wakama. But something looks a little bit off. Oh yeah, we made some minifigure versions too. So if you want to create more like Lego minifigures, these are for you. We made the head available as a custom minifigure head, and we made a custom armor piece. The armor piece has a stud on the back, so you can add a round tile as the Rutoka. Other than that, just add custom weapons and you got yourself a Hordika minifigure. And now we can add them to the Battle of Metronui. We're also planning to release minifigure Visrak later this year. Now let's hear what Toafella has been working on.
As a novum, this year's BioDay release comes with two non-figure supplementary parts. First, we present to you the Cocoon. Based on the LEGO Spiderweb piece 80487, ours in comparison is upscaled in length by 1 unit to a total of 9 to also accommodate non-minifigures. Furthermore, we implemented a hold center stud, aligned the gap with the victim's head, and switched the clips and bar ends around to mitigate printing errors. Also, placing the single clips at the extreme ends instead of in between, coupled with the structure's flexibility, allows one to slide off the connection points instead of clipping them off, so even brittle materials can be used for printing. Next, we present to you the Hemisphere piece. It comes in two variants and has a diameter of 5 units. Based off of LEGO piece 4412, we incorporated anti-stud connections into the axle slot. Variant 1, if paired together, forms a Matoran pod. The second variant serves as both a Suva shrine and Tor canister lid. In case of the Matoran pod, we recommend using half pins as connectors, should your printing material be too rigid. Otherwise, your finger cups might not get a good grip on a curved, inflexible surface. Have fun printing and playing.
We invite you to join the BIONICLE Discord server, where you can meet other members of our little community, check out cool mocks, enter building and photography challenges, and keep up to date for the latest news from our projects. After that, head over to our website, where you can see the photos from previous challenges, and find all the files from releases we've done so far, including my favorite, our Advent calendar, where we released a new part every single day.
Hello, Bionicle Day! I hope you are all doing well. My name is Roran, I am the Minionicle team's local Discord wizard and guy with memes. Today, I am here to present to you all our biggest contest yet. A little story time. As we all probably know, back some 20-odd years ago, in the wonderful year of 2005, LEGO hosted a very special contest. The Dark Hunter contest. To honor that, we at Minionicle have decided to bring you our own version. Now introducing the Minionicle Dark Hunter contest. Now, what does this mean? Well, with the release of our Hordika parts, we would like to invite you to participate in creating a Dark Hunter worthy of the Shadow One's forces. This can be a recreation of one of the original Dark Hunters from the 2005 contest, or your own original model. You have from now, August 10th, 2025, to October 10th, 2025, at 12 a.m. UTC. You will be submitting your entries on our Discord in the dedicated channel. Now you may be asking yourself, well, why would I do any of this? Why should I care? Well, simple. The top 3 submissions, as voted on by the Minionicle community, will get full pages in our digital Minionicle Dark Hunter guide, an interview to go along with it, and the first place winner will get a custom Minionicle piece made and modeled by our very own X-Crispin P and Toafella. Happy building! Don't forget to join our Discord, and may the Great Spirit guide you.
Thank you, Roran. Sounds like a lot of fun, so don't miss that. We also want to say thank you to all our test printers who helped us making our models the best possible. They are a great help to our team, so thanks to Athanatos Devil, Matt Grayzone, Epicman, Shieldwolf92 and Tamaru. Your help is greatly appreciated. Now that's all we have to show today. Files for the Hordika figures should be up on our website, both for 3D printing and for studio, so check them out and have fun. Have a great Bionicle day, everyone. This is the way of the Minionicle.
You can catch up on the BIONICLE project by joining their Discord server through the QR code on your screen. Just watch where you step. Mock Spotlights have been one of the most frequently requested additions to the Bionicle Day lineup, and this year, we're happy to feature one of the coolest collabs this community has ever seen. You already know the Dark Hunters, so now, let's meet their rejects.
Always underestimate the things I wanna be. Apologies will never be my game. Facing their reality, face it by myself.
You can learn about the all Odinian Rejects through the bios on their Flickr page, accessible using the QR code on your screen now. The team behind this project is also considering releasing this project as a physical book, so if that's something you'd be interested in, be sure to let them know. Before we wrap this year's Direct up, we've got just one more thing to show you, from a returning Direct presenter.
Well, that was a fun project, but I guess it's done. Oh well. Now what? I guess I could always finally take up actual Bionicle building. Huh. Where's the head? Oh, here it is. Well, it's been a while, but I guess I'm back. In case you're new to Bionicle Day, hello there. My name is Swirt. I am one of the founders of Bionicle Day, the proper event that we're watching. And back in 2021, I created a brickhead style of the 6 Toa, which I dubbed the Kolhiiheadz. In 2023, I mentioned that I had become super burned out on the whole project. The truth is, I was getting sick and tired of making 6 different sets of instructions with completely different requirements, knowing that deep down, somehow it wasn't enough. It was just incomplete. However, I knew that the only way to fix this was to fundamentally start over from scratch and make a brand new design. In addition to that mentality, new parts were finally introduced into the system to make them a little more accurate, as well as minor fixes of my own errors that would make them truly look like the real Toa sets. But I knew the real challenge was going to be, how do I address one major flaw for my first set? How do I make it so you can build any Toa that you want, any color you want, and still maintain not burning out for making 216 different sets of instructions to make each Toa with each primary color possible? That is absurd. Instead, why not just change the mask? Oh, never mind. This head is way better. Introducing the Kolhiiheadz modular system. My attempt to right the wrongs from 2021 when I created my first Toa design. With this new system, any possible combination of the Great Kanohi mask that is built in this style can now be applied to a generic template of a head. With this in mind, now I just need to make one simple set of instructions for each of the body types we've seen in 2001, such as the single-arm swing and the inverted body. However, I then faced a very new set of challenges. What about the Noble Kanohi? Oh yeah, of course I made the Noble Kanohi. You thought this would just be your normal unhinged Kolhiiheadz reveal?
I have lost sleep to this system.
Oh, and of course I also had to make the Turaga to go with them. Each mask design is capable of being built in every solid color featured in Bionicle's entire G1 story year, with the only true replacements being Medium Azure replacing Medium Blue, and Dark Purple replacing Classic Purple. Oh, and yes, the Greys are also using the Stone variants introduced back in 2004. Yes, that is the official LEGO term, Stone Grey. Feel free to look it up. Please do. I'm sick and tired of having this discussion. Each mask may require parts replacements until LEGO officially releases the ones I intended, but the replacements are pretty close if you asked me. Also a point to mention is with this new system, both gold and silver masks are now possible, as well as new to the lineup, infected masks. Now, I'm torn whether or not to release instructions for the infected, as it's more a matter of feel and style rather than precision. So feel free to reach out to me with contact information I'll provide later if you think I should. Again, it does feel like you should explore the possibility on your own, but that's just personal preference. But speaking of personal preference, in addition to each mask being buildable in each color, this new system also allows for the first time the ability to swap parts between masks. So if you ever wanted that at Kakamari, well guess what, now you can. Always wanted Nikon's Noble How? Yeah, here you go. Likewise, you could also change LEGO elements out to make unique color palettes, and unique pieces to your current mask design, or you could go hog wild on unique designs altogether. Honestly, the possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Okay, and also a few parts that just don't mix very well, but that's an easy fix if you try hard enough. Worst case scenario, you could always see for miles. And miles. And miles. Getting to this point was not easy, and it required so many revisions. In fact, to date, there are at least 21 different studio files, over 130 images of renders, 3 animations, and many failed attempts sent over Discord before I finally nailed all 12 of these masks. Now, having said that, I guess we should also address another elephant in the room. There's gotta be more here. Oh. Well, you know, if it's worth doing, it's certainly worth overdoing. It turns out when you have half a year to plan a whole new Toa system, you also have the same amount of time to plan a new way to turn them into Toa Nuva. So like the original Toa Nuva from 2002, these Toa Nuva will use the exact same bodies as your new Kolhiiheadz modular. Nuva masks are being upgraded to the modular system as we speak, and will be released as soon as possible. But that does bring up the next subject. How will this all be released? The current plan is to make different sets of instructions for each Kanohi, featuring a head with that Toa's eye color. The Noble Kanohi will have the instructions for each Turaga head associated with that mask, so you can also do recolored Toa heads from these. The only head that has any changes directly to it will be the Bakari's head, which is meant for Onua's hunching effect. Now, of course, as it is also a very modular system, the Bakari can still go on any other head design. A hunched Toa will require slightly modified Kanohi sides to be able to properly wear them, as seen in these examples, which will be made available as separate instructions for your needs. The next set of instructions will be based around the Toa bodies themselves, as implied earlier. This will include the single arm, the double arm, the inverted kick, and the inverted run. The Toa tools for each Toa will also be inserted into a set of instructions, as well as brand new Nuva-themed stands for each of the Toa. Additionally, the Turaga bodies will be available on their own, ready to take the lead in the Koro of their choice. Wait a minute. But if the Turaga lead, who would they be leading? You knew I had to do it. One of the biggest things I've tried to make for so many years now was a believable Matoran design in my system. It wasn't until my failed Turaga design from earlier this year that I realized my problem was not in trying to make them similar in scale, but in failing to realize what the scale was to begin with. As you can see from the video, the body is even shorter than the gift with purchase Takua himself, and I argue even more adorable. However, it still uses the same modular Kanohi system as the Toa and Turaga, so you can now interchange these masks across these three styles. Of note, some Matoran Kanohi will also require the same modifications seen in the hunched models, but with the best part, with all these color combinations possible within the system, the friends you make are always there for you, just at a cost. Speaking of, when I first released my Kolhiiheadz, and the second time I released my Kolhiiheadz, and the third time I released Kolhiiheadz, I said they would be free. Well, let's go ahead and address that now for you here now. They still are free. However, instead of hosting these on BSL1 server, I am now moving the original Kolhiiheadz, the geared up Kolhiiheadz, well, ones I finished, as well as the modular system, all to my personal OneDrive. Okay, yes, I know. Ugh, OneDrive. Ugh. I wish I still had the space left to leave it on BSL1, but I would rather reserve all that space for the site, and it was about time I move on off of there anyway. To clarify, the BSL1 website for Kolhiiheadz is still there, but now each thumbnail will instead represent the mask you want and the body type you want, as well as having a dedicated link to the original folder, just so you can get those later. I have spent so much time working on these, but unfortunately I couldn't get them all done in time for Bionicle Day this year. My goal is to have them all posted by winter 2025, no later than New Year's 2026. I do have instructions ready for the single arm Toa and the How, just to give you a small taste of what you are expected to see. I will be posting more on my Blue Sky and in the BSL1 Discord with updates about what instructions are ready and when. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me in the BSL1 Discord or in any other Discord we happen to be sharing. I'm in a lot of them. On BSL1 on my talk page, over on Blue Sky, or just shooting me an email at sword@outlook.com. With that, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you get ready to build your own OCs, Kolhiiheadz style.
You can find these new Kolhiiheadz instructions by scanning the QR code on your screen. Have fun! Thanks for tuning in to Bionicle Directs 2025. We hope you enjoy digging into all these amazing projects, and that you enjoy the rest of this year's Bionicle Day.